Adam, what do you
People talk about your athleticism, your speed, that kind of thing. You're on the same field with Dan Jackson for a good number of plays this past game. He's in a different boat in terms of measurables. So what's it like to see a guy like him kind of earn his spot on this defense?
Honestly, I have so much respect for him. Just like the fact of him coming in, just walk on as an emphasis, and like any walk on that come here, I just have like a huge respect because a lot of times we play as more. It's not so much of a role of just playing on a special team or just being a scout player, but he put himself in a position where he's playing on Saturdays. He actually taking the notes. He actually trying to produce more and not just being as a scout player, but the honor and respect of the team itself.
How does it land on you when you hear #1 ranked Georgia Bulldogs?
Honestly, that for me, that drive for keep it neutral, keep the same. Don't try to change up. Don't try to be somebody that you're not. Don't don't let the just being #1 influence how you play now. Because honestly, a lot of people get over their head a little, and then next thing they'll start playing different or trying to play like somebody they never played before.
Do you feel like it sort of puts a little bit of a target on your back when unanimously ranked #1 team?
Honestly, when you come to the University of Georgia, you always target.
Yeah.
Adam, as a group of pass rushers, are y'all kind of starting to anticipate teams, trying to throw the ball quicker to avoid y'all getting in the backfield, stuff like that?
I mean, honestly, a lot of teams gonna plan different for us. We either gonna get chip blocks or double protection and stuff. So honestly, that just all depends on now you just gotta figure out what's your pass rush move. What other way can I get in the backfield as well?
Because the reason I ask, it seems like Auburn threw a lot of quick passes to the outside. As outside linebackers, do y'all kind of make an in-game adjustment? You say, okay, we need to maybe focus on getting hands up, bat balls down. How often do y'all work on that stuff during the week? And do you talk about it in the game?
Honestly, we work on a lot of that during the week. Work on ball movement, hands up. Honestly, the way you strike and blocks as well. Because honestly, if you can't get through a tackle in a certain way, then what's your next move, or how you get your hands up after that?
And also, is that a Helinski Soul bracelet you got on out there?
Oh yes, sir.
What does that cause sort of mean to you? Why is that something that's good?
For me, honestly, just mental health in general. I feel after when we're going to quarantine, you seen a lot of people having the issue of dealing with mental health, and I feel mental health is one of the biggest muscles that you really got to work on in your brain. So honestly, when you're mentally healthy, then that helps you with physically healthy as well.
Is that something that you yourself personally struggle with? Getting the game kind of taken away from all y'all for a little bit last spring?
Honestly, I feel that for anybody, not even just for myself, but honestly, for me, for example, I felt my mental health had to change a little, and the way that I did things. So honestly, that deal with how you eat habits or the things you go around with life in general.
What were you able to change? I guess during all that.
My focus, honestly. I feel my focus was more as a standpoint of what am I trying to get out of life and what is my end goal as well.
How much of you guys been how much have you gotten to look into Kentucky's offense yet? As you stand here today, what do you know about them offensively and
very vivid right now. Haven't watched too much yet. Just started off a little, just new week or so. So honestly, just getting a little bit this week so far.
You caught them on TV. You get to see me
we actually watched them coming back from the game from Auburn. So we watched a little bit from them.
Any first impressions? Obviously, you played a few other times too. When you think about playing Kentucky, what comes up?
Honestly, as always, Kentucky always been one of our physical games, and just seeing how even when we come back on Saturday, seeing them playing against LSU, just knowing that's a physical team, and as again, you playing the SEC, that's always going to be a physical team, and always going to be somebody going to come at you as well.
Talking about physicality, do you remember playing against their offensive line last year because they're regarded as probably one of the best in the SEC?
Honestly, last year that was probably the most physical game we were in, and as you can see, even when the offense took the whole first quarter mostly last year, even when defense out there, it was physicality, helmet to helmet, strike to strike most of the time.
Adam, what are the benefits of, you're a talented guy, some guys jump after their third year. What are the benefits you've seen in your game and your progression by just coming back for another year at the University of Georgia?
For me, it's being able to recognize offense, and not even just offense, but to recognize my body as well, seeing what I can do what I'm like agile, what my weakness, my strength. So like, you know, being here more and more, it allows you to strengthen in like more in the mind, but physicality, like just helping you just really seeing like what you can do.
I got one more mental health question. So you said you wanted to think about what your end goal is, you know, like that stuff. Sort of what is your end goal here now? Has it changed, you know, over the past year and a half or so?
I'd say when you first come in, a lot of times a lot of dudes think of like, all right, I want to be like freshman, All-American or so, and like, you know, I mean, a lot of times they like get away of what you really trying to get to, and then like after that, like when you like actually get older and actually producing well, like you start thinking so much, and not just for myself, but like your team as well. Like, how can I help this team out in this position? Because like a lot of times, it's not always like the individual thing you do. It's about your role as well on the team as well.
How has that mindset helped you, whether it's, you know, in the film room, at practice, like in games too? I guess like the mindset, everything you've gone through over the past year or so. I mean, how has that made you a better player, you think?
Honestly, it helps you to adapt and connect better with players. It helps you like learn from your mistakes and learn how, you know, that was your weakness or so, from like when you have other players coming in like freshmen or so, to actually learn like, okay, let me teach you what I learned before so I can help you out as well. That way you can, you know, produce on the field as well.
And when you watch your freshman year tape, I don't know if you do, what goes through your mind? I think it's safe to say that you really didn't know what you were doing. Like, what do you do when you critique yourself previous years with what you know now?
Honestly, a lot of times when you think of that, really, most of the time you just think of what can I do better from last year, or like where can I, you know, place my hand, or most of the time where is this allowing me to be for the next year. So honestly, like each year is more of a growth development. You always want to find at least one step or something that's going to strive to make you a better player.
Adam, when you're dealing with injuries in the secondary to a lot of players, is there any added pressure to the front seven to get like quick pressure on the quarterback and help the secondary out?
Honestly, like you just know like the depth, and you know the players that's even coming in behind that, because honestly, like we speak on our depth, which that is a big role in us. Like everybody, we don't consider nobody just particularly just a one, because anytime you on that field, you consider a one. So at the same time, I don't expect nobody to do anything different.
Have you watched any of Kentucky's offense yet?
No, sir, not yet.
I've got to be asked this, but what was last year's game like with Kentucky, just on the field between the lines?
Very physical. It was more just straight down running the ball, see who can run the ball more, and see who can gain yards, really.
As far as physical, I know all the teams in the SEC are physical, but when you think back to last year, was that one of the slobber knockers or the tougher games you played in terms of physicality, the run on run?
Oh, for sure. I mean, honestly, like that was like the most physical game we played mostly. Just because Kentucky always been like a physical team we always play against.
Adam, I'm going to see if I can make you smile again. What do you think of Chaz Chambliss so far, man?
So we call him Little White Wolf to us. Like, so he like our he always coming in with the energy. Always like when you see a dude like him, always here, something get film, man. Like honestly, like for a freshman like him, always in the meeting room, and then like even after practice, still getting meeting room, getting treatment, you know, stuff like that. You don't see for unusual freshmen. So like honestly, like seeing him produce as well, and honestly, even later on in his future, is still gonna be a great player.
How much of a, and I know you guys are focused on yourselves, but you do see other scores. Is it kind of a reminder when you see Alabama fall that on any weekend anybody can lose in this league?
Honestly, that's how you feel about SEC. Like SEC football, there's nothing to expect. Like everybody, you know, recruit the same players. Everybody have, you know, great athletes. So honestly, like it's like you gotta have your guard up at any time.
Adam, how much did you weigh when you got to UGA?
When I got to UGA, I'm probably like 220, 218 at most.
What are you now?
235 right now.
Where do you want to be?
At least like 245, 248.
How are you going to get there?
Eating and working out.
What you eating?
Honestly, I eat everything.
I think we've got time for two more questions.
What would be like a weight gain food though? Like what would be something you wouldn't ordinarily eat unless you were trying to add that good weight?
Honestly, greasy food. Like honestly, you won't want to put no like greasy food in your body for real. Because honestly, that's just gonna slow you down. Just put fat on you, not really muscle. So yeah.
What's your favorite food they give you here at the facility after practice or whatever?
Favorite food? I'm big on fruits really. So like honestly, when we get like the watermelon right after, like that's something like I'm a country boy, so we like our watermelon.
Okay, that's all with Adam today.